The insufficiency of chances in India drives Indian students to study medicine abroad. In December, there were only 88,120 undergraduate seats in India's medical institutes, despite the fact that 8.70 lakh students passed NEET undergraduate in 2021. In Kajikode, two doctors go along the street. The following are some of the reasons why Indian students study medicine abroad: inadequacies in educational opportunities, the attractiveness of nations such as Ukraine, China, Russia, Georgia, and the Philippines for medical education among Indian students has emerged as a major discussion point as thousands of Indian students stranded in war-torn Ukraine await evacuation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi alluded to the situation on February 26 when he said that Indian students are flocking to minor countries for studies, notably in medical education. At a webinar's launch, it was deliberated that the insufficiency of chances in India is one of the main reasons why Indian students study medicine abroad. As of December 2021, India's medical institutions had 88,120 undergraduate seats, according to the Ministry of Health. In 2021, however, over 15.44 lakh individuals took the NEET undergraduate National Eligibility and Entrance Test undergraduate, a test that several countries need even those who intend to pursue a medical degree overseas to pass. Last year, over 8.70 lakh students passed the exam. As a result, the 88,120 undergraduate medical seats offered can only accommodate about 10% of the total qualified applicants. Education strategy has highlighted the size of the demand and supply mismatch for MBBS seats in the country. Even if we assume some of the candidates are writing the exam only out of parental pressure, even if only about 5 lakh candidates truly want to pursue MBBS, that is still a huge shortage. Education strategy specialist Ramachandran Chris says, pointing to the magnitude of the demand and availability gap for MBBS seats in the country. According to the website of India's National Medical Commission, there are 43,310 MBBS seats available in 284 government medical colleges and 41,065 MBBS seats available in 269 private medical institutions. This means that just roughly half of the already scarce places in government colleges are affordable, and the cost of learning in little countries, as Prime Minister Modi referred to them, is vastly different from private colleges in the United States. According to Ramachandran, the cost of a whole MBBS degree in nations like Ukraine and Russia might be as low as one-third of the cost in an Indian private college, where we have to pay rupees 10 lakh to rupees 15 lakh per annum at private medical colleges in India. Here it costs rupees 3 to 4 lakhs only. Onkar Jila, a third-year medical student from Maharashtra studying at the Ivano-Frankivsk National Medical University in Ukraine, told IANS. Furthermore, the quality of the education in Indian private colleges might be questionable at times, prompting students and parents to seek out more affordable universities abroad that are of comparable and superior quality. According to Ramachandran, students would still have to clear customs when they returned to India. Students who return to India must pass the Foreign Medical Graduates Exams (FMGE) in order to practice medicine in India. The National Exit Test (NEXT) or next, whatever it may be, is being suggested to replace the FMGE, which would likely become a qualifying final exam for MBBS students who studied in India and may also replace the NEET PG test. During the Ukraine crisis, Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi said that 90% of Indian students who study abroad fail India's qualifying exams, a comment that the PMSF strongly condemned. PMSF means Progressive Medicals and Scientists Forum. PMSF condemned the intensive and improper questions posed to students confronted with the horrors of war in Ukraine, questioning why they study medicine in small foreign countries rather than India. Limited government MBBS seats and a lack of affordable medical education in India forces thousands of MBBS aspirants to seek help from agencies that arrange their admissions in medical colleges in Eastern Europe, Southeast Asia, and Oceania, the Doctors Forum said in a statement released on March 1, Tuesday. These countries, unlike India, have a quite adequate number of medical institutes, most of which are wholly public supported, and they use their extra capacity to train international students on a monetary basis, according to the report. Is the private sector capable of solving these problems? PMSF condemned the intensive and improper questions posed to students confronted with the horror of war in Ukraine, questioning why they study medicine in small foreign countries rather than India. The Doctors Forum highlighted out in a statement released on March 1 that our children today are traveling to minor nations for study, especially in medical education. Prime Minister Narendra Modi stated after the war on Ukraine began, is not it possible that our private sector will make a significant contribution to this field? Is not it possible for our state governments to come up with excellent land allocation strategies in this regard? In a separate statement, the PMSF said that the Indian government is feigning ignorance by criticizing students who study medicine abroad. PMSF condemned the intensive and improper questions addressed at students dealing with the horror of war in Ukraine, questioning why they study medicine in small foreign nations rather than India. The Doctors Forum pointed out in a statement released on Tuesday, March 1st, that speaking after the conflict on Ukraine, although more private colleges could theoretically help meet the demand for medical education, Paul Chellakumar, chairman of Chennai-based overseas education consultancy Campus Abroad, points out that quality of engineering and business education in India has become increasingly unreliable as a result of growing privatization and a lack of proper regulation of private colleges. Because they administer these institutions, private college management are frequently not highly invested in delivering quality education. Because private colleges are run like business, the management of these schools is typically not highly invested in guaranteeing quality education due to the high cost of management quota seats. Many nations, including Bangladesh, are attempting to recruit students from India. If the demand for private medical colleges increases, a proper structure for fee and quality regulation is required. However, in India, no one hesitates to pay a capitation fee, which, despite being unlawful, has become highly normalized as part of our society, Paul observes. Currently, medical colleges are disproportionately distributed among Indian states, with the majority of them concentrated in Karnataka, 63 institutions with 9795 MBBS seats, according to NMC, and Maharashtra, 61 colleges with 9600 MBBS seats, according to NMC. The number of medical colleges in India is currently disproportionately distributed across state, with a large number of them concentrated in Karnataka. Then there are uh, 69 colleges in Tamil Nadu with 10,625 MBBS seats, and Telangana and Andhra Pradesh 34 colleges with 5340 seats, and 31 colleges with 5210 seats respectively, and Uttar Pradesh 34 colleges with 5210 seats, 67 colleges with 86786. Then Dr. Vinod K. Paul, a member of the Niti Aayog, stated in October 2021 that the Indian government plans to achieve the WHO recommended doctor to patient ratio of 1:1000 by 2024. According to Ramachandran, if the National Medical Commission takes the scarcity of MBBS seats seriously, it will help to alleviate the situation, to provide enough opportunities for every student who aspires to a medical education in India, while also aiming to achieve the required doctor-patient ratio in proportion to each state's population. It would have to begin adding around 30,000 MBBS seats every year, if not more, for the next few years, and funds would have to be allocated accordingly. Alternatives to the existing education system must be investigated. Ramachandran says, adding that the NMC may establish a few colleges through a public-private cooperation. The government might persuade large hospital groups to establish colleges and provide incentives while keeping tuition cost low. Why are Indian medical students possibly forced to study abroad, and what can be done about it? So already we have discussed so many points. The another points we are getting from the research that the situation is very serious in India. It is commendable that Prime Minister Modi urges state governments to formulate sound policies. Unfortunately, at the center, it has doubled in some of the same old agendas that keep the medical field busy. According to Prime Minister Modi's credit, undergraduate and postgraduate seats have increased by 72% and 78% respectively since 2014, and will increase even more when all accredited and accredited colleges start operating. But most of these expansions have taken place in government seats that come with their own problems, some of which have been made worse by recent central government measures. There are layers within the layers when it comes to dividing medical seats in India. At the basic level, there are two main categories: government seats and private sector seats under the government, where are only central government seats following the institution's quota policy and 60% seats reserved. Seats in All India quota, which is a pool built after the provinces gave up 15% of the seats in the lower colleges. Here, only the allocation was followed of SC or ST until the Modi government introduced the OBC allocation last year, and then 85% of seats which regional governments that followed their allocation policies and gave approval to their constituencies, and Tamil Nadu having highly reserved seats. This means that when new colleges and new seats are added in Tamil Nadu, there is a small increase in benefits for students in the non-resilient category to when compared to when other provinces increase capacity. In addition, the Modi government's move to start booking OBC on AIQ has also reduced the potential available to non-reserved students due to the addition of tens of thousands of seats since 2014. And one step back, overall, it is still developing but will need a significant increase in seating capacity over the next few years to compensate for the limitations of the allocation system. That leaves the private sector as a viable potential partner for the government, where the government could focus on providing quality economic and social health education at affordable prices and allow the first one to cater for the disadvantaged in government seats. But the private sector is also plagued by two major problems. The first is the shortage that is guaranteed for decades, because it is very difficult for real educators to open medical colleges due to oppressive rules. One needs hundreds of thousands of initial investments, annual license approvals, the requirement to set up different teaching departments, set up proposing an attached hospital with a certain number of beds, additional accreditation, and even adding seats or beds to existing colleges, hospitals, etc., to name a few. When the Modi government overthrew the Indian Medical Council and replaced it with the National Medical Commission, NMC, it had a unique opportunity to bring about change. Not only that, but earlier this month, it issued comprehensive financial management guidelines for 50% of private doctoral colleges that will be forced to pay the same amount as public colleges. The government thinks it is helping to fund 50% of the seats in private colleges, but has lost sight of the fact that colleges will be forced to increase funding by 50% of the seats and may not be as large they took them for themselves. Even without such support, students are forced to travel to Ukraine, Bangladesh, China, et al. Due to low cost. The second issue in the private sector is a dual control system that governs small and medium colleges, where the first is most beneficial because the protection provided under Section 30 of the Constitution allows juniors to run their colleges with greater autonomy and more likely to be fired by NMC funders. It is not without reason that a few colleges run by medical education and are almost equal in numbers to non-minor ones. In addition, many seats in small colleges are reserved for people of their faith. For example, about 84% of the CNC Vellore seats are reserved for Christians. Prime Minister Modi was due to end the discriminatory regime on the first day in office. Alas, in fact, in India, the category of persons places admission to government and medical, religious, wealth seats in private colleges. It is not too late. Instead of urging regional governments to formulate good policies, Prime Minister Modi will be well informed that he should actually start with his government. Apart from that, we will continue to see the migration of foreign students. Thank you.